Flight simulators. Friday night, the week is over. Kids are asleep. It is snowing outside here in the New York metro area, and we are comfortably indoors, ready to stream for a few hours. Tonight we are in. Ooh, I'm getting feedback. Tonight we are in. Where the hell are we? We're in Bangkok. Victor Tango Bravo Sierra. And we are heading to Singapore, Whiskey, Sierra, Sierra, Sierra. This is a bit of a departure from our original plan. We were going to head east to an island off of China, I believe a city called Sanya, as we were continuing east around the world and start making our way north up the Pacific coast of Asia. But I recently heard that World Update 7 is coming out. And World Update 7 is going to be all about Australia, adding all kinds of new scenery, photogrammetry, airports, I believe. And you know what? We're close. We're close enough. I want to go check it out. I think it's releasing on the 31st of January, so there's still a few days, but it's going to take us a few flights to get down there. But our first stop is going to be Singapore. Then I think we might head to Bali afterwards, but we'll spend some time in the cruise figuring out what that route could look like, which should be fun. Air traffic control is not online in Bangkok, but there is an approach controller online now in Singapore. We'll see if they're still there when we get there. But we may have some ATC tonight, which will be fun. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to hop into the cockpit where it's cold and dark, and we'll get things started with our initial prep. First things first, let's get some power. Get those batteries on. And external power. So satisfying. Cruise supply on, ground control on, get the aiders aligned. 1, 2, and 3. Nav and logo lights on, no smoking, emergency, integrated lights. And then we'll do our fire tests. All sounds good. We'll keep the fuel pumps off for now because we're going to refuel a bit, but we'll get that APU started. So again, folks boarded. Up and down. There's the APU starting to spin up. Let's first start by just getting our displays brightness up a bit. We're doing more daytime flights, which is fantastic. For a lot of our trip, we're flying through the night, because I've been doing all these flights during evening East Coast times. So it took us until like, we got to the Middle East before we were actually able to start flying in the daytime consistently. And we've been really enjoying the views and the weather. Weather's been pretty good to us, actually, knock wood. We haven't had any crazy weather problems or storm systems. We've had a few approaches to minimums, most notably in Paro, which was pretty intense, but we had a lot of fun. All right, so anti-skid is on. Time is correct. Let's check. Oil quantity is good. We have, sorry, not flight controls. What am I looking for? I'm looking for doors. We have oxygen pressure is fine, and hydraulics look good. And let's see, that APU is now available. So let's get that APU bleed on, and we'll take a break just to get folks boarded, because that will take some time. How many passengers do we have tonight? 171. Wow, pretty full flight heading to Singapore tonight. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So we'll come back to the box in a little bit when we're a bit more ready. But in the meantime, let's get some baggage and catering services as well. Here they come. Very cool. All right, so continuing with our cockpit preparation here. So everything's on set to normal. We are on Unicom right now because there's no ATC coverage. Weather system is off. Engine masters are off. Engine mode is normal. ATC is on standby. We'll squawk 7,000 until we're assigned a code by approach. They may not even assign us a code, but we'll see when we get there. Ground spoilers are retracted and disarmed. Flaps are retracted. The door is currently unlocked and open. Rudder trim is 0. Parking brake is on. So initial cockpit prep is good. Let's get our fly pad on. Do a quick brief of our flight plan. We'll pull that in. While we're on this page, we'll just record our ATIS information and get our QNH set. So, got my pen and paper. So for Victor Tango Bravo Sierra, let's see, a moderate wind, so 200 at 9. Good visibility, scattered at 2,000, 31 degrees, very hot, and 23 dew point. QNH 1012, and I say it's very hot because it's like below 0 here in the East Coast centigrade. No SIG, very nice. Cool. So let's take a look at the operating flight plan. And we'll get some of our, we'll get the fuel going, and we'll check out our charts. So looking here, yeah, Victor Tango Bravo Sierra, heading to Whiskey Sierra Sierra Sierra. Our alternate tonight is Whiskey Mike Kilo Mike, which is not too far. So I'm not expecting a ton of extra fuel for that alternate. About 2 hours in the air. It's going to definitely be a longer flight tonight. I wanted to stretch to make it to Singapore because we downloaded some beautiful custom scenery in Singapore. But we may have a more chill cruise than we normally do. We'll see how we go. We are Bangkok Air 9084, cost index is 15, cruise is 370, triple pause is nice and high, and trip wind, we have a headwind of 10 knots. It's going to impact our time. Max shear rate is above 4, so there will be some turbulence around Surat. Alright, so looking at our route, looking at the winds too, that's the appropriate runway in that case, 19 left. I believe that's the runway, that is the runway we came in on. And then we're flying the Kigob 3 Juliet departure, and we'll worry about the arrival when we get closer. But while we're here, actually before I pull the charts up, let's look at our fuel. Trip fuel is 4.8, contingency, alternate, final reserve, so a block of 79.19. I'm going to check the weather at the destination just to make sure that it's pretty good. Yeah, nothing concerning there. Also pretty hot, but good visibility, good elevation on the clouds, no significant weather, and where are the winds? The winds, 11 knots, it's fine. So I don't think we'll need additional fuel than what's recommended, so we'll put in 7919. 7919, which is more than we usually take, but still plenty empty. We're definitely not taking full advantage of the range of this plane. It's just I don't really feel like flying for 4 hours in my basement. Alright, enough of the honesty. Let's get our charts briefed for this departure. So let's pull in our sim brief information. Make sure it's correct. Victor Tango Bravo Sierra, Whiskey Sierra Sierra Sierra. That all looks good. So let's get our taxi charts. Oh, here we go. Info is the one I like, and let's find. We're stand B5, so we'll just take this for now, just to check. So if we're taking off runway 19, actually it'll be a pretty nice and short taxi. So we'll probably take Tango 4, Charlie 4, bang a left on Bravo, and hold at Bravo 1, just to maximize our use of the runway. Very convenient. Sid, we are flying the Kigob 3 Juliet. Let's see if we can find that. I'm not seeing Kigob. Kigob, where are you? There's probably an easier way to do this. Oh, Kigob, but not 3 Juliet, but we're getting closer. Kigob, 3 Hotel, 3 Juliet. There you are. Alright, let's take a look at this sucker. So, speed restriction, we'll program that into the box. 220 knots. Kilo 3 Juliet takes us over here. So what's the deal? Flying these waypoints, and our first restriction is a ceiling of 9,000 feet. So we'll put that into the glare shield. But yeah, I mean that departure makes quite a bit of sense considering where we're going. So let's hop over to the glare shield now, and we'll get our initial climb out altitude of 9,000 feet programmed in, and QNH we recorded as 1012. So just a slight adjustment on the QNH. Very cool. While we're here, turn on constraints, so we don't forget that. Just make a mental note for later, looking to see if there's any VORs or other like rad navs you should be aware of, but I don't see anything, so we'll just GPS it. Oh, let's see. Okay, that's a pretty standard speed restriction, not too worried about that. And let's see if there's any special instructions anywhere for this departure. I don't really see it. Let's see if there's anything of note here. Initial climb clearance 6,000, or as directed by ATC. So that's helpful. That was a little weird. Yeah, I would have expected to see like altitude restrictions on some of the earlier waypoints. This felt like a little later. That's fine. So I'd say we'll stay at 6,000, and once we're on our way to Bravo Sierra 904, since there is no ATC, we'll clear ourselves to 9,000, and then after that point, we'll just clear ourselves to cruise. Very good. Alright, that is all done. How are we doing on that fuel? Well, actually, the right way is to look here. Yep, still refueling, but we're getting close. Right, so I think... Let me check our standard operating procedures, make sure I'm not forgetting to do anything at this point. Probably would want to simulate a virtual walk-around at some point. Alright, so I guess may as well do the emergency briefing now while we wait for folks to continue boarding and fuel to complete. So, referencing these lovely charts. If there is an issue on a taxi to runway 19 left, we'll bring the plane to a complete stop, clear any ECAM messages, and make a call to return to the gate or continue. If we experience an issue on takeoff roll before 100 knots or V1, we'll call out the malfunction, and I'll call stop or go. If I call stop, I'll apply the rejected takeoff procedure, bring the airplane to complete stop, set the parking brake, call attention crew at station. I'll monitor reverse green and decel and silence any audio warnings and inform ATC, but there is none online. Then I'll carry out ECAM actions, and if evacuation is required, we'll carry out emergency evacuation checklist. For any failure after V1, we'll continue takeoff, and no further action will be taken before 400 feet AGL, except to silence audio warnings and gear up. At 400 AGL, we'll perform any ECAM actions. For an engine failure, damage, or fire, when the engine is secured, we'll stop ECAM, level off, accelerate, and clean up. And if engine is not secured, we'll continue climbing until the engine is secured, but not above the engine out maximum acceleration altitude. At green dot, we'll then, in that case, go to open climb and select MCT on the throttle. Resume ECAM, complete after takeoff checklist, and check the status. We'll either fly the missed approach for a runway 19 left, which has us climbing to 1,000 feet on track of 195 degrees, and then climbing left turn directed to Laysan at 3,000. So we'll put that fix in the box, and hold there, make the decision whether to continue or return back to the airport via the 19 left ILS. How was that? I thought that one was pretty good. I think the emergency briefings are getting better. Alright, well, refueling is complete, so we'll go ahead and get the fuel pumps on. And get the seatbelt sign on. And strobe to auto, because I will forget to do that later. And still boarding. So I'll take this opportunity to do our performance calculations now before we get to the box. So for performance calculations, I need a mix of runway information from the airport information sheet as well as weather information. But starting with the runway 19 left is a head bearing of 195 degrees. Elevation is nice and low, 5 feet sea level, very flat. The length is 4,000 meters, so it should be good for a flex. Wind is, what did we say? It was 200 at 9. Oh. 200 at 9. Outside air temperature, a balmy 31 degrees. QNH 1012. Runway conditions are dry. Our takeoff weights. What is our takeoff weight? On this side. Takeoff weight tonight is 68 tons. Again, a bit heavier than we're used to. We'll have the packs off, anti-ice off. Takeoff center of gravity we'll check later on. But yes, we have flex data, and it looks pretty good. So we'll put that into the box when we're ready. Okay. Are we close? We're close. We're very close. I'm just going to wait. There are other things I could do, like getting these lights on. Yay, integrated lights. I'll get that overhead off because it's pretty sunny. We don't need that. We don't need that. Alright. And let's check out the area weather. So some low-lying bubbly clouds. Quite nice. We'll be taking off in this direction, so we'll be flying through some of that most likely. Hopefully get some nice breakouts. And let's just take a moment to appreciate this livery. This is just awesome. I was going to fly Thai Airlines, but then I saw this Bangkok Air Livery, and it just looked so nice. I just had to use it. This will be the last time we're using it, because I have a loose rule. I've been following it most of the way, but the loose rule is that we always use the livery of a national airline for the country we're leaving. And since we're leaving Thailand today, we are taking this livery for Bangkok Air. And yeah, we'll probably fly Singapore Airlines out of the next one. And we weren't anticipating that. And oh, and we'll get to fly Qantas when we get to Australia. That's going to be awesome. All right. So I just saw the airplane jerk because we're just getting some more weight on board. Just 12 more stragglers. We're definitely taking the southwest way to board by boarding the back first. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm pretty sure, looking at these numbers, these first 6 rows are probably first class. Does that? Will that work? Let's think. Let's think for a second. In an A320, it would be 3 by 3 in a coach configuration. So 6 rows of 6 would be 36. No. So this implies that the A32nx does not have first class. That's a travesty. That's ridiculous. I really don't know how I feel about that. Come and fly by wire, guys. Give us a first class cabin. Get that weight balance more to the rear. Alright, have I killed enough time? One more person. One more person. Come on. You could do it. Yes! Okay, we are fully boarded. Just to finish the performance calculations, I'm going to skip ahead to the fuel prediction. Oh no, but you know what? There's nothing here because I didn't put any information in yet. So, you know what? I'll take that back. We'll cross the bridge when we get to it. Let's start with the box flows. Let's take a look at the IRSs. They're all on nav. Great. AC status. The correct engines are loaded. And look, we have the new AirRack cycle. How fun is that? Alright, that all looks good. Going to init 1, init request. Victor Tango Bravo Sierra Whiskey Sierra 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 to Whiskey Mike Kilo Mike. We are Bangkok Air 984. Cost index is 15. Flight level 370. And triple pause is in the ballpark, but I always like to use the exact one from the flight plan. So 56253. 56253. Boom. Heading to the flight plan. So we know we're flying the Kigab 3 Juliet departure. So let's get that programmed in. Departure for 19 left. And Kigab 3 Juliet. There we are. and no transitions. So we'll insert that. We'll take a look at that in a second, but first I'm just going to get that fix in while I have it in my head. I believe it was Laysan. That's the one 9 miles away. And looking at that missed approach procedure, what's our vector? That's just a direct to Laysan. It doesn't really say, but it kind of says 319. We'll just fly direct if we need to use it. I won't bother with the vector for that. All right, so going back to the flight plan, nice overfly there. That's right, we are flying the experimental version of the fly-by-wire mod tonight, so we have cool things like overfly and TCAS. But yeah, let's just make sure our departure looks correct. So yeah, initial fix is Lewis. We have the speed restriction in there, but we'll make sure to put it in the performance page before we go. Bravo Sierra 903, then to Samba, then Bravo Sierra 904, then to Kigab, and then on to the rest of our flight. So I'm going to delete the extra Kigab, I'm going to delete the discontinuity, and we'll go straight to but. Nice. Cool. And we'll worry about the approach when we get closer. Alright, so RadNavs, there was nothing of note. We have the ILS in there, though, if we need it. And then going to init 2, weights and balances with everyone on board, 60.3, and that should match exactly, because this is a simulation and not the real world. So we'll get that in there. Block fuel of 7,900, so 7.9. Oh, but let's put the winds in first, so it doesn't have to calculate twice. Headwind of 10. H10. And what did we say? 7.9? Just confirm. 7.9. Cool. Block fuel's in. Let's get the rest of our fueling parameters. So we are looking at 0.6 contingency, 1.3, and 1. 0.6, 1.3, 1. 0.6, 1.3, and 1. And that gives us 16 minutes of extra flying time. Love it. Love it. Love it. Performance. Performance, performance. So we're going to do, well actually let's do our fuel prediction. So we see our center of gravity is 24.3. Going to my handy dandy calculator. I don't really need the calculator for this. I can actually just reference the trim wheel itself. But that is 0.9 up. So we're going to do flaps 1 and up 0.9. Flex to temp tonight per our calculator is 64 degrees. Thrust reduction, acceleration altitudes, and engine out acceleration altitudes look fine because we're basically at sea level. Transition altitude, let's just confirm that on the chart. See if it's 11,000 feet, and it is. Great. And now our V speeds. These will be incorrect. Yes, they are incorrect. So our flex speeds are a V1, decision speed of 150, rotate speed of 152, and a single engine takeoff of 153. And box is complete. Yes. So let's go ahead and get the tug connected. But before we do that, we'll disconnect external power, because we are on APU at this point. Let's see, do we have the external services still attached? Yes. So we will tell everyone to leave. So long jetway, so long baggage, so long catering, so long power. While they're all doing that, we'll go ahead and close the cockpit. So now we're safe. We'll just watch these folks pull away, and we'll get the tug connected.
Ground. This is ground. Stand by.
This guy gonna leave? Do I have to hit baggage again? Get him to go? And I'll just do it on the box here. This might work better. Baggage. And bye. I don't want baggage. Are we gonna leave? Are we gonna go?
Okay, sir. The bypass pin is installed. All doors and hatches closed and all ground equipment is removed.
The parking brakes are set. You may lift.
Parking brake set. Lifting the aircraft.
You know how you know the parking brake is set? This little red dot. That little red dot's on because the parking brake is set. Friggin'
Standing by for pushback.
love that detail on this sim. Just totally fantastic. Bags are still going on. Okay. Now let me hit the baggage again. And will that guy leave? I want to close the cargo door, bro. Come on. Your buddy's leaving. Come on. You know you want to. Are you going to stop? Okay. Baggage is clear. You can go. You can go. There you go. Let's close that cargo door. Or do I have to do it? Nope. There we go. Cargo door is closing. And I'm just going to confirm it here because I don't trust it. Once that is confirmed close, we'll do our before start checklist and get our pushback going. Great, cargo door is closed. So before start down to the line, cockpit prep is correct. Cockpit prep is completed. Gear pins and covers are removed. Signs are on or auto. Let's get the beacon on for engine start. ADIRs are nav, fuel quantity, we have 7.9 tons. Takeoff data is set, bow ref is set to 1012. And before start checklist down to the line. Okay, so let's get our transponder set to auto at this point. Windows and doors are closed, slides checked armed, beacon is on, thrust levers are idle. We have brake pressure, that's all good. And the nose wheel steering disconnect memo is displayed. Before start checklist below the line, let's do it. Windows and doors are closed, beacon is on, thrust levers are idle, parking brake as required. Before start checklist complete. So we are going to begin our pushback and face to the east. And we'll make our radio call now. Bangkok traffic, Bangkok Air 9084 at stand Bravo 5 at Bravo Kilo Kilo, pushing back, facing to the east for a taxi to runway 19 left, Bangkok traffic. There's probably more information I need to give, but you know what? It felt good. Alright, let's do it.
Cockpit to ground.
Go ahead.
We are cleared for start and push. Parking brake set.
Okay, cleared for push start. Please release parking brake.
Parking brakes are released.
Commencing pushback. You can start the engines in sequence.
It will start in the sequence.
Alright, let's get the ignition to ignition. Engine start 2. Make sure we are taxiing properly. Or pushing back properly. I would love a mod or some kind of add-on that automatically steers your pushback for you, because I'd rather just stay in the cockpit view. Like, I don't have to be responsible for knowing where I'm pushing back to, right? Because like the ground crew steers you. You are focused at this point on good engine starts. But here, my attention is divided. Breaks the immersion a little bit. I got a little bit of time. N1 is coming up. EGT is looking good. N2 looks good. I think they haven't really modeled the PSI yet, but that's fine. We can see the bleed has closed down. Oh, good engine start. Engine 1 start. just get that wrong. Do a nice overhead view to try to get us on the line. Oh, overshot a little bit, but you know what? Pretty happy with that. Hold. Stop pushback.
Okay, pushback completed. Please set your parking brake.
Parking brake set.
Parking brake set. Lowering aircraft.
Ground. Startup is complete. You may disconnect.
Roger. Good engine start. Clear to disconnect. See you at the side. Have a good flight.
Holding position waiting for the visual. Thank you and goodbye.
So long tug. Alright, we're almost... Alright, we have 2 good engine starts, so we'll get that engine mode back to normal. Turn the APU bleed off. Get that APU shut down because we no longer need it. We're on engine power. Let's get our lights set up for taxi at this point. And let's see what else we got. Arm our ground spoilers. Rudder trim set to 0. Flaps will be set to takeoff. Flaps 1. And let's look here. We're going to trim up to 0.9. And while we're here, we'll just do our flight controls checks. So full left, full right, full down, full up to neutral, and then disconnect our rudder from the nose wheel to do a rudder left, rudder right, and neutral. Flight controls are good. Alright, let's do after start checklist. Anti-ice is as required. ECAM status is checked. Nose wheel disconnect is gone from the ECAM. Pitch trim is set. Rudder trim is set to 0. After start checklist complete. Let's make sure we're good for taxi, and then we'll get going. So we got taxi lights, flight controls. Let's do our area clearance. Clear left, clear right. Parking brake disengaged, and let's roll. Alright, so I'm using a combination of rudder control for steering on the straightaways, because with the rudders I'm getting about a 6 degrees of deflection on the nose wheel, which gives me very fine control. But when we do big 9-degree turns, I'll use the tiller. And for the tiller, I have a secondary joystick, the Thrustmaster T16000M, I believe, that I use the Z-axis to control this tiller right here. It's a pretty nice setup. Takes some while to get used to, though. Alright, so this is taxiway Bravo right here. Apply a little bit of brakes because you don't want to take these turns too quick. They say below 10 knots is ideal. We won't do a hard 90-degree turn. We'll just take it nice and easy with the tiller. So I'm going ahead, I'm twisting that Thrustmaster now. Sounds dirty. Apologies. And then we'll do an immediate left turn. Sorry, immediate right turn. We'll do a nice 90-degree turn here. Right now. And that is the shortest taxi known to man. We'll just pull up here and do our before start checklist. Sorry, before takeoff checklist. And come to a stop right here. And let's take a look. So before takeoff, we have our own clearance. Let's get our lights on, so landing lights. Runway turn off. We'll just light up like a Christmas tree right now for the most part, even though it's daytime. Takeoff. TCAS, get that. Well, ATC to on, TCAS to TARA. Advise the cabin crew. Auto brake set to max. Takeoff config. And I missed I always miss this earlier checklist. But before takeoff, flight controls checked, flight instruments checked, briefings confirmed, flap settings confirmed, flaps 1, V speeds are set, flex temp is set, ATC is set, ECAM memo a no blue. We have to turn that predictive weather system on though, because I'm getting an ECAM message there. Thank you, ECAM. Predictive weather is on. Before takeoff, checklist below the line. Takeoff runway is confirmed. 19 left. Cabin crew is advised. TCAS and TIRA. Engine mode selector is on normal. PAX will turn off for our flex takeoff. And that is before takeoff checklist complete. Bangkok traffic. Bangkok Air 9084. Taking off runway 19. Bangkok traffic. Let's go. Let's fly. Beautiful day. Alright. Take off. And 1 to 50%. Stable. Manflex SRS runway. Knots. Love these flex takeoffs. They leave you in a little bit of suspense. V1 rotates. Positive rate gear up. Enjoy that takeoff. Yes. Follow that flight director. Approaching accelerations, altitude. Thrust climb, climb. So, clean up a bit. Those lights off. And spoilers, retract. Still hand flying, because you know what, why not? Flight director is giving me all the guidance I need. Approaching S speed. And speed checked, flaps retract. Made the 220. I forgot to put in the speed restriction in the box, but it looked like it was following it anyway. And now we are past that initial waypoint, Lewis, and we are cleared to accelerate to 250 knots. So that all worked out. I think once we get closer to 6,000, I'll get the autopilot on. It's just really enjoying the hand flying right now. Flight directors make it so easy. Just like, stay in the crosshairs. It's like small corrections. Speed Alt Star. So long, Bangkok. It's good to meet you. Good friend of mine from business school. He's from Thailand. I've never had the pleasure of traveling there with him. All right, autopilot engaged. Check out reverse view. Nice straight out departure. 19 left. And we'll be over water for a little bit as we head towards Singapore. Alright, once we pass Samba, we'll climb up to 9,000, and then once we pass, what's that next one? Bravo Sierra 904, then we'll clear up to 37,000. And oh no, I forgot the clock, and I forgot the chrono. Well, they'll be off a little bit. No worries. Check OBS, make sure my microphone's working, and it is. I want to make sure all of y'all can hear me. My beautiful, swooning voice. Alright, we're turning. Let's go up to 9,000. Thrust climb, climb. A little more brightness. It is a beautiful day up here. To make sure everything else looks good. I forget who I heard this from, but like in moments of a low workload, if you're not doing something, you're doing it wrong. Oh, PAX. Yep, you see? There you go. There's poor people in the back without their air conditioning. And there we go. Speed Alt Star. Actually I went to vertical speed mode, sorry. It wasn't quite altitude yet, but we'll do manage altitude again. All constraint? What? No, now we're through it. Once we pass Bravo Sierra 904. Fly-by-wire's too smart. That's why I should do open climb. If we cleared ourselves, just do open climb. Thrust climb, climb. Alright, now we're heading up to cruise. We'll keep an eye on that ATC, see if Singapore approach stays online. But it'll take a while for us to get there, so let's see. Just checking the VATSIM map. Ooh! Ooh! So, Pandang Center is online. So yeah, no, we'll oh wait, but we're not going down that far. Hold on. I'm sorry, I just got a little turned around. Oh no, wait a minute. Oh, that's lame. I think Oh yeah, no, that is, we're not going to fly into that airspace. And Singapore approach is offline. What a bummer. What a bummer. Let's see if anyone else is flying to Whiskey Sierra Sierra Sierra. Yeah, we are not alone. We have a flight from Sydney, a flight from JFK, and then us. The flight from Sydney and us might arrive at similar times. Is that true, though? We have 1,800 miles to go. Oh, no, definitely not. We'll get there well in advance. Okay, never mind. Yeah, as much as I love VATSIM, it does take some of the pressure off. Ooh, QNH, we are past. 10,000 feet checks. I'm being too casual tonight, guys. Apologies. Just do the quick procedure for 10,000 feet checks. After takeoff checklist, landing gears up, flaps retracted, packs are on, bow set. 10,000 feet checks, landing lights retracted, seatbelt as required. We'll go ahead and turn those off. We'll check when we're expecting turbulence, but for now it seems pretty smooth. Alright, so that's done. ECAM memo is clear. Nav aids, we didn't use them. Weather radar is in op, so we're good. Can I do constraint and airport at the same time? No, it's one at a time. Let's get a bit of a further view here of our flight path. Sweet. Alright, I'm going to talk about this for a little bit because I thought it was super cool. So, for years, I've heard about this idea of a pressurized cabin. I always vaguely understood that when you're flying commercial at really high altitudes, you need to have your cabin pressurized because the air is so thin at altitude. Like if we all went up to 35,000 feet in an unpressurized airplane, we'd all pass out, which is no fun. But I always just assumed that the cabin pressure stayed at sea level. Like they just pressurized it to whatever sea level was and just maintained that. But it's a bit more nuanced than that. It's actually pretty cool because if you think about it, if you kept the interior cabin at sea level air pressure, that puts just so much undue outward pressure on the fuselage at high altitudes. So what the pressurization system is actually doing is you're still ascending, right? The actual air pressure in the cabin is as though you are at altitude, just at a lower altitude. So right now we're climbing at 1,900 feet per minute, but the air pressurization is simulating a climb of 350 feet per minute. That's what this cabin vertical speed is telling you. And the cabin altitude is saying that the air pressure conditions in the cabin are identical to that at 2,900 feet, even though we are now at 19,000 feet. So that's why it is still enough air pressure for us to get enough oxygen when we breathe, but also explains some of the phenomena when you fly, just the idea of feeling sleepy or getting drunk faster or not being able to taste your food as well. I think that's all related to the fact that the cabin altitude is not sea level. It's actually closer to 10,000 feet, even though we are flying at 35,000 feet. Hopefully I explained that correctly. What I would like to dig into is what this delta pressure is. And I wonder if that's how much higher the pressure is inside the cabin versus outside. So I wonder if this is reflecting how much outward pressure is on the fuselage. But let's watch this number as we climb. Anyway, how are we doing? Let's take a look at our flight plan and get a sense for when we should expect some turbulence. So we are right now inbound, but Love it. Inbound butt. And oh yeah, so turbulence is like right early on at Surat, and then pretty smooth the rest of the way. So let's find out where Surat is on the route. There's butt. Surat will be after top of climb. Alright, so once we get to top of climb, we'll check our bumps. We don't have any bumps by then. We'll just maybe preemptively put the seatbelt sign on. And once we're clear of Surat and things seem fine, we will turn the seatbelt sign off again for our virtual passengers this evening. Should we do some exterior shots? Let's do some exterior shots. Hello, Thailand. And open ocean. Just going to check on the VATSIM map to see exactly what are we flying over. So yeah, so we're still flying over Thailand. But we'll be over water now for a good chunk until we get to, what is this country here? Google Maps. So Thailand, and then flying over the Gulf of Thailand, fly over Malaysia. Are we going to fly over Kuala Lumpur? That'd be really cool to see from the air. See if any of these waypoints seem like Kuala Lumpur. So this is the Kuala Lumpur airspace. Kota Baru. Let's see where that waypoint is. Oh, and actually while we're here, let's get rid of these charts because we don't need them. What's this? Edit? Oh, that's a cool feature. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, sweet. That made that so much easier. Okay. So no, Kuala Lumpur, I think. Oh, wait. I think it'd be obvious from this to see where Kuala Lumpur is. World map. There's Kuala Lumpur. Alright, so we're not going to fly over it. We're going to fly somewhat to the east of it. And this is a part of the world I would absolutely love to fly to. Jeez. It'd be so much fun. Alright. What are we doing? Okay, so we'll be at cruise in like 10 minutes. Flight plan is saying we're arriving at, this is going to be inaccurate, this is going to be the high end, but at 6 Zulu. Really? Shit, I'm going to be up late. So 6 Zulu is roughly an hour and a half, and it's already 11:20. Jeez, I didn't realize how late it was. When was our departure time? Our departure time was 10 to 11 Eastern time, so like 3:50 Zulu. So how badly did we miss that? Okay, we were like 15 minutes late for departure. That's not awful. Not hating on that. All right. Yes, this really is the Serenity portion of this flight. Look at the moon. That's pretty cool. No real weather systems around. It's just like very forgiving, bright part of the world. Are we south of the equator yet? Nope, not quite. We'll get there on the next flight. And speaking of the next flight, let's figure out where we're going. Let's figure this out. So, one option is Jakarta in Indonesia. What is the airport in Jakarta? Let's see, I'm trying to think of the best way to do this to include folks on the stream so like you can actually see what I'm looking at. Alright, so there's Singapore and there's Jakarta. It looks like a very quick hop. It might be too quick. There we go. Whiskey, India, India, India. That's a fun ICAO code. Let me pull up SimBrief on an alternate device. SimBrief, SimBrief, not Simba, SimBrief. Oh, I gotta log in, hold on. Yeah, Face ID for the win, okay. So, looking at this flight here, from Whiskey Sierra 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 to, what was it? Whiskey India India India. What is that expected flight time? Oh, actually, you know what? That's perfect. That's perfect. That is estimating just under 2 hours, which is like the sweet spot for these flights I'm doing. So great. That's the next leg. We're gonna go to Jakarta. So I'm going to pull up my trusty spreadsheet that I've been using for flight planning. And this part you can't see because I'm doing it on a different computer. But yes, so Whiskey Sierra 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 to Whiskey India India India. And that is... what do we call it? Jakarta Soekarno. Probably butchered that pronunciation. Soekarno International. Well, I'll just do the full name. Soekarno Hatta International. And that is a flight time of 1:55. Okay. So from there, what's next? What I think I'd like to do from Jakarta, I think the easy one is Bali. Is that Bali here? Is this Bali? Bali. Yes, we want to go to Bali. That's the VOR. The airport is there too. There we go. WAD, Whiskey Alpha Delta Delta, runways plenty long, twice as long as we need for an A320, which makes sense because everyone frickin' goes to Bali. Alright, so let's get that into SimBrief and see what that tells us. So from Whiskey India 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 to WAD. Two hours even. Perfect. 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 What do we call this? Wow, I'm just gonna call it Bali. Bali International. Actually, let me see if that has a different name. Bali International Airport. Oh, they just call it Negara Rai. So, Whiskey Alpha Delta Delta. Negara Rai International. And that is 2 hours even from Jakarta. Nice. Nice. I'm liking this. Let's take a quick look at SimBrief. Not SimBrief, sorry. At VATSIM. I see WAD there. There's Whiskey Alpha Alpha Alpha, which is, oh, that's Ujung Pandang. I think from Bali we can then hop over to Australia. That'll be our first foray to Australia. And I'm not familiar with Northwest Australia. I have family in Sydney, but let's look at some of these highways here and see where they go. So what is this? Derby. I've heard of Derby. What kind of runways do they have? Ooh, kind of short. That's not really. It doesn't really feel like it's for commercial. What about this one? No, I don't want the segment. Give me Yankee. No, I don't want the airspace. What is that? That's military airspace restricted. So that's probably an airbase. Curtain. Tell me the airport. Yeah, it's good runways, but yeah, it looks all airport type military. So not really realistic to fly into that. Let's see. What else is around here? That's Derby. Oh, this is what is this? There's a confluence of things here. It looks pretty far from Bali, but let's see. Let's give it a shot. What is this? No. Follow where I'm clicking. Oh, Darwin International. This is legit. There we go. Yankee Papa Delta November, Darwin International. Runways are massive. Well, runway 11, runway 29 is massive. Alright, so let's pop this into SimBrief and see what we got. So, from WAD, beautiful Bali, to Yankee Papa Delta November, ooh, that's a 3-hour flight. That's a bit long. Alright, so let's take a look. There are these airports up here on this island. That will probably not take off an hour. It's just, yeah, Bali. Right, that's Bali there. WAD, yeah, that's WAD there. So WAD to Darwin, that's 3 hours. That's pretty, like, if you just follow the circle around, like, there's not going to be much that's closer. So I wonder if we want to go to one of these. Like, what's this? Water. David Constantine Sawdale. Those runways are pretty short. I mean, they're technically long enough, but don't want to play that game. Kupang, what's this? It's better. That's better. I mean, ideally we'd find something directly in between. This would be like a nice hour-and-a-half leg. Oh, and we're at Alt Cruise. Okay. Let's just confirm on the box. Yeah, we got an hour-and-a-half, guys. So plenty of time to dick around while we figure out where to fly to. Okay, so Kupang. Let's look at the charts. Let's see if this looks legit. Navograph is taking its sweet time. I'm not sure if it's a good sign. Did I click it correctly? What? There we go. Ooh, it's tiny. It is long enough. They have an ILS approach? They do have an ILS approach. That feels more legit. Alright, Kupang. This might be it. Let's just again check sim brief. Do WAD to watts. That's 2 hours still. That is still 2 hours. Alright, I guess that's what's going to have to be. So let's get that into our spreadsheet here. So then we'll go from Bali to Whiskey Alpha Tango Tango. And this is called what? Altari. Altari Kupang. This is like reminiscent of that first stop we did in Canada north of Montreal to what was it, Le Grand Riviere, and I think there is a very similar situation. Not really an international airport. You probably wouldn't expect A320s to land there, but the runways are long enough and it's where we need it to be. So that is that, and now we know from there. Well, actually, let's be strategic about it, because from Darwin, Australia is pretty sparsely populated. And, like, do we want to see Perth? It would take a while to get there. Like, more logically, like, what is this? Right in the outback. Octave. Can we land here? Alice Springs. I've heard of this. The runways are long enough. Alright, so for these last few, because from there, there might be like 2.5 hour legs, and then this is what? This is Melbourne? What is this? Oh no, it's not quite. I think Melbourne is further east. Oh, this must be Melbourne. Yes, this is. And here, I would love to go to Moorabbin. Visit our pal Steph Jury. He has no idea who I am, but I'm a huge fan of his. Yeah, Moorabbin. But their runways aren't long enough. They have a lot of runways, though. What? Let's look at this. Let's look at these charts. Yeah, dude, those are a lot of runways. None of them are useful for an A320. But yeah, this is the home airport for Echo Yankee Zulu, which is a Cirrus SR-22 G6, I want to say. Or maybe, no, I think he flies a G3. I forget. But awesome YouTuber, awesome Instagram, just really fun flying adventures. If you're into Cirrus, I think anyone who's into Cirrus follows Steph. They have to. I don't know why you wouldn't. He's just probably the best Cirrus content creator out there at the moment. When I eventually get my own Cirrus, I hope to take that title away from him, or at least get an excuse to fly to Australia to fly with him. That would be so rad. All right, enough of that. So let's talk about routes. Routes. So yeah. Ooh, airspace. Yeah, so that might be a fun leg. I mean, like, as much as it would be nice to fly to Perth, that just seems needless. Like, why? Like, we'll come down to Melbourne, Sydney, fly up the East Coast. We'll want to make our way back. Like, originally we're going to fly here to Sanya, which I think is like a resort island, a Chinese resort island. But at this point, we'll probably have to fly up through Philippines, Taiwan, which means we'll miss Hong Kong, right? This Hong Kong here? Yeah. That's unfortunate. Oh, it would be nice to go to Hong Kong. How can we get back to Hong Kong? It would be wrong to fly through the same airports we've been through. Do like a full loop, go back to Darwin. Maybe come through here. Like what's here? What is this? Yeah, I'm not familiar with that. And then we could have the cities in Vietnam, like Ho Chi Minh City and so on, and then head to Sanya. Yeah, it might be worth doing that because yeah, it would be a shame to miss Hong Kong, especially in this game. I think the scenery in Hong Kong is going to be awesome. Alright, so still lots of planning to do. Let's go ahead and get some of those numbers into my spreadsheet. So from Watts, we want to go to Darwin. So what is Yankee Papa Delta November? Hour and 50. Yankee Papa Delta November, and that is Darwin International. Very cool. And then from Darwin International, you're heading into the outback, my friends, to this confluence of skyways. Octave. I mean, they got 4 runways. That's gotta be legit, right? Alice Springs. So pump that into SimBrief. Yankee Papa Delta November. And that is Yankee Bravo Alpha Sierra. And that is 225. It's a bit longer than I'd like, but kind of within the limits. We don't really have much of a choice. So Yankee Bravo Alpha Sierra, and we're calling that what? Alice Springs. $225. Alright, from Alice Springs, again, options are kind of limited. Maybe not. I mean, Adelaide International. Let's try that. YPAD. So YBass to YPAD. And that is also 2 hours and 25 minutes. So I have 2 slightly longer flights to get to the south of Australia. This next one should be quick, because we're going to be going to Melbourne. Let me add some more rows. We're adding a lot of legs to this around the world journey by doing this, by the way. I don't hate it, because I've been enjoying these. But, alright, so from YPAD, where we're going. From YPAD, then I think we'll want to go to Melbourne. And Moorabbin's on option, so yeah, Melbourne International. So YPAD, to Yankee Mike Lima. Hour and 35, so that will be a nice relief from those two longer legs. That's Melbourne International. Flight time of an hour and 35 minutes. Hopefully once the World Update 7 comes out, there'll be a lot of VATSIM activity in Australia. So that should make it pretty fun. Actually, it's also reason enough to divert. Speaking of ATC, I'm just looking at VATSIM again. See if there's any new coverage. No. Singapore is still not covered. But there is someone in a pre-flight at Singapore. Would be nice to encounter some traffic, honestly. Oh, actually, there is a plane. Oh, they're on the ground. Oh, they haven't even filed a flight plan yet. So yeah, there's some traffic. Thailand, Malaysia area. Again, I'd love to just test the TCAS, but I'm not sure if we'll get to. Alright, focus. So we got Melbourne International. Where are we going from Melbourne, guys? I mean, Melbourne to Sydney would make sense. That is like one of the most trafficked routes in the world, I think. So there's a military airport. There's Camden. There's Sydney, Kingsford Smith, and Sydney Bankstown. I think those are the two primary. Oh no, Bankstown's pretty small. So this must be the only one. Yeah, sorry, we'll do Kingsford Smith. Let's see. How long would it take to get there from Melbourne? So Yankee Mike Lima to Yankee Sierra Yankee. Hour and 40. Perfect. I do not mind that. So Yankee Sierra Yankee. And what we're calling that, Kingsford Smith International, Sydney. Fun. Hour and 40. And those are block times, by the way. So in the air, it's actually going to be less than that. Usually. Like, for example, our block time was 2 hours and 30 minutes, but our in the air time is more like 2 hours. So we'll see how that tracks. So we've been in the air for roughly 36 minutes, and we have like an hour and 10 to go. So yeah, we haven't programmed our approach in yet. That's going to add to time, but still, the block time is usually overdoing it. Alright, so let's just do some vectors in our head. So this is like an hour and 40. So this should be about the same. What is this? What is this? Jezzafish. What? It's a waypoint. Yankee Bravo. Oh, Brisbane. Okay. Yeah, that's the next stop. Let's see the time there. So from Yankee Sierra Yankee to Yankee Bravo November. How long? Hour 45. Awesome. Get that into the spreadsheet. And that's just, is that Brisbane International? Easy. Block time of 1 hour, 45 minutes. Alright. Tour of Australia is almost planned out, friends. Alright, from Brisbane. So, this is like an hour and 40, so we'll probably want to go. This might be 2 hours, whatever this is. There's another airport I've never heard of. Townsville International. They've got good runways. Yeah, let's just take a look at the time. So from Yankee Bravo Bravo November to Yankee Bravo Tango Lima. Oh, sorry. How long is that? That is 2 hours and 15. Yeah, so we don't want to go much more than that. So this will be the next one. Yankee Bravo Tango Lima. We're calling this Townsville International. Block time of 2 hours and 15 minutes. All right, from Townsville, what's next? Just curious what this town was. Cairns, okay. That's all right. So yeah, then it's kind of like hop to Darwin. Yeah, I don't know about that, friends. Also, it would be nice to go to New Zealand. I'm not sure if New Zealand is a part of World Update 7. But it's all good. Take a swig of water real quick. Oh, thirsty today. All right. Let's look at options. What's this? Port Moresby. Immediately think of Ted Mosby. That's not a good option. All right. Oh, Papua New Guinea. All right, they got a couple of good runway options, actually. All right. Let's get the bigger picture here. That might be a good option. And that will save us from having to do Darwin twice. So let's get that in. So from Yankee Bravo Tango Lima to Alpha Yankee Papa Yankee IP 2 hours and 10 minutes. Done. Done. Dunzo. Alpha Yankee Papa Yankee Jackson's Port Moresby. Is that what you call it? Is it just Jackson's? What do you call this airport? It's called Jackson's. Yeah, we'll just call it Jackson's. Jackson's Port Moresby. And that's 2 hours and 10 minutes block time. Alright. This is going to be fun. We're adding so many legs. It'll be worth it. Alright, so let's do the vector game again. We'll want to try to get as far west here as possible. This next one might be tough. There's no like obvious intersect. Like, what is this? Oh, excuse me. Oh, Jesus. Oh, they got long runways too. Yeah, at this point, I just want to fly to what works. So, WAB. So IP to WAB. This might be long though. Let's see. 245. That's a touch long. Let's see. Is there another one? Another good one that's like slightly closer. Like, what's this one? We know the nav aid. Way. There we go. Alright, that would do. That would do. The runways are not as long, but let's see the flight time. Whiskey Alpha Yankee Yankee. What was it? 225. What was the last one? WAB. Alright, yes, that's a little better. That's the leading option right now. What's this one? This is probably going to be slow. Or rather, sorry, short. Oh, no, you know what? That could do it. That could potentially accommodate. Let's see how much shorter it is. It might not be worth cutting that much runway length off. Yeah, it's a matter of 15 minutes. I'm not going to play that game. We'll just go to Timica. Cooler name anyway. It was the Whiskey Alpha Yankee Yankee. Okay, Whiskey Alpha Yankee Yankee, and we're calling this Moses Kilangan. These names are awesome. Moses Kilangan. In Timica. And that's 2 hours and 25 minutes. Alright. Let's keep an eye on our time. Still good, about an hour. In about 20 minutes, we'll brief our approach into Singapore. Alright, so next up, from here, where are we going, friends? Where are we going? We'll probably make our leap. Ooh, tough. What's this? Military? No, it's public. Not crazy. I wish it was a bit longer. So it's fine, but... Alright, let's just benchmark how long that would take. So, from Whiskey Alpha, Yankee Yankee, to... Wham! Oh, we should just go just for the George Michael vibes. It's 240. Oh, man. That's long. That's long. I didn't expect it to be that long. Alright, so what's the next best? What's the next best? This? WAP. Oh, God. Sorry, I was just thinking about that rap song. WAP. Alright. 2 hours, 5 minutes. That's like right on the money. Alright. So we're going to go to Whiskey Alpha Papa Papa next. And this is Patti Mura. And what was that? 2 hours and 5. Okay, we're about to hopefully breach out of Bumblefuck, Indonesia. So from there, this looks like the next logical route. And then we could hop to the Philippines, maybe. So what is this? Oh yeah, we were just looking at Wham. Okay. Is that too close? Let's see. An hour and 40. It's a little close. Alright, so what's next best? What's next best? I want to get north. What's this? Too short. Too short. That's going to be too far away at that point. What is this? Yeah, that is a proper airport. That's going to be too far away, though. You know, we might have to go to, Wham. This guy's closer. I don't like it. I want the airport. Alright, are we... Is WAS? No. We're going from Way to WAP. Alright, so one of these legs will just have to be long. I think we just have to accept that. Now I've lost WAP. Where's WAP? Oh, there's Way. Okay. And we're saying Way to WAP, which is this. That's too far. Do we try Way to WAS? Way to WAS, and then WAS to this. Hour and 45. WAS is long enough. Yeah, let's do that, because then we can hop to... Okay. Maybe a few shorter hops. Way to WAS. WAS is called... Oh, fuck. Is that really what it's called? What does the chart say? Yeah, Domine Edward Osak. That is a brief hour and 45 minutes. Alright. So I think that will work out better. So WAS, and then we'll probably go to Wham, right? WAS to Wham. The KO codes are so fun. So WAS to Wham. Also an hour and 45. Okay. Don't hate that. And this is Sam Ratulangi. All these airports are named after people, I've noticed. Hour and 45. And let's just do one more leg for now. I'm starting to get tired of all this additional planning. We're adding so many more legs just to get to Australia, but again, will be worth it. I think from here, we should be able to jump up to the Philippines, and then flying through the Philippines should be pretty straightforward. So what is this? Romeo Papa Mike Romeo. Romeo Papa Mike Romeo. And that's an hour and 25. That's too quick. That's too quick. Just trying to visually. Okay, so what's this? Is this a bit? Alright, so Romeo Papa Mike Zulu. Hour and 40, so that's better. We can still go further. That makes sense though. Oh, what's this? Oh, this looks like a proper international airport. Romeo Papa Mike Delta. Hour and 35. Okay, let's still go further. What's this? Butuan, not to be. Oh no, this is a little. It's edging on the runway length. Oh, I don't want the VOR. Also a little short. Don't like it. Alright, again, we might just have to accept another weird short leg. I like the fact that this is an international airport. So Romeo Papa Mike Delta from Wham. Romeo Papa Mike Delta. And this is DeVeo Francisco. Is this the same? Am I looking at the same thing? $68. No, what am I clicking on? That's not the same thing. Oh, wait, no, sorry. Okay, yeah. So Francisco Bangor International. And that is a block time of an hour and 35. So we're going to have a bunch of like short-ish legs going through Indonesia and the Philippines, but that's just the nature of it with the land masses the way they are. Okay, so going through the Philippines will be easier, and then we'll... Fuck, is that what we want? I know we talked about Vietnam. This is going to be long. If we want to do Hong Kong. I need to work backwards. Okay. Might want to go through Brunei and then hop to Vietnam. Okay, change of plans. Change of plan. So are we are going to WAM. So from WAM, is there anything due west that is large enough to go to? No, too short. That will do it. Can we go straight to Brunei? Alright, last thing we'll check. From WAM to Whiskey Bravo Sierra Bravo. Please be kind of short. I might just, oh, 215, perfect! Okay, we're not going through the Philippines, friends. We're going straight to Brunei. Whiskey Bravo Sierra Bravo. And that is Brunei International. And that is a block time of 2 hours and 15 minutes. Alright, so you know what? We're actually really close to getting back on course. So let's see. I think maybe 1 or 2 more legs. We'll be back on our way to Sanya. So let's see. From Brunei. What's this? Ho Chi Minh is pretty close to Bangkok. It would probably be a good 2 hour. Yeah, that might. Let's check this one. This might be the good bridge. This might be a good bridge. Whiskey Bravo, Sierra Bravo to Victor Victor Tango Sierra. 215. Perfect. That's what we're doing. Going to Ho Chi Minh City. And then from there, we'll check the distance to Sanya, and then we'll be done. Tan Son Nyat. International. $215. Alright, and then to Victor Victor Tango Sierra. Damn it. To Zulu Juliet Sierra Yankee. An hour and 55. That's the bridge. That is the bridge. And we've made our 37 leg trip. 58 legs. Jesus. Alright. So back to this flight now that we have completed a crazy flight plan redirect through Australia. Let's get our bearings back here. So it is 10 past. We're about 40 minutes out. Let's figure out our arrival. Can't believe it took that long. So we're planning to fly the Arima 1 Alpha arrival. Arima 1 Alpha, nice first one. 250 knot speed restriction pretty early. And we'll want to get to 10,000 feet by Bobag. Okay. So, that's our point, Bobag. And current altitude, we're going to get down to 10,000 feet by Bobag. We'll need, let's say, 90 miles. Fixes, we'll replace this. Bravo, Oscar, Bravo, Alpha, Golf. And, sorry, what was the, said 90 miles. 90 miles radius. And let's just see. Okay, so there's our top of descent right there. Nice, that's done. Let's brief the approach completely. Get that operating flight plan. So from there we're expecting runway 2 right. Let's see if that jives with our ATIS. Runway 2 right with the winds from 2 at 9 knots. That's perfect. Direct headwind. And is that ILS? It is not. But runway 2 left is. Runway 2 left is. Let's see the difference between these runways. I prefer an ILS, but the weather's fine, so we could hand fly it in if we had to. Where's the airport? Yeah, there we go. Oh, airport info. That's the one I want. Alright, so 2 right. Alright, nice and long. 2 left has an ILS, also nice and long. Closer to the terminal will be a shorter taxi. There's also runway 20C, which has an ILS. Let's see the star, if that allows for 20C. It is, because it's vectors to final. So, yeah, let's do 2C. Let's do 2 center. Get that ILS. Oh, sorry, that's 20C. Sorry. 2C, ILS. Here we go, this one. Okay. So let's get that into the box. So ILS 2C, 2 Charlie. No stars. What? Interesting. Is that why we're given 2 right? Maybe, let's see. So RNAV 2 right. No stars. It's just not in here. What about 2 left? That's so strange. Alright, well let's get in the ILS 2 center. Maybe we just put in the waypoints ourselves. Just out of curiosity if the 20s have a star. No, there are no stars for this airport in this database. Alright, ILS 2 center. We'll just go with it. Approach views. Lidva, is that what we want? Lidva, and then the star, Arma, 1 Alpha. I may as well do Lidva, because that just gives us extended straight line in. Alright, so via Lidva. Insert. Lidva, Lepna, yeah, that looks fine, from Arama. That's direct, so we're going to want to put in extra waypoints here. Let's put in Bobag. And then we'll want Bokip. And then we'll want Samco. See how that looks. So Arama, Bobag, Bokip, Samco. Lipna's like right there. Interesting. That's kind of what they have you fly, though. It's like a little curvy thing. Alright. And we'll be going a lot slower, so that curve should straighten out. And then we'll just go from there straight into the runway, to center. Okay. Cool. Let's get the airport info. And does this have gate information? Does not. So it usually tells you what chart to get the airport gate information. There's just a box, but where is the chart number? Where are all those lines through 20 Charlie, by the way? Let's see. Unclear what that's all about. Okay. Oh, construction area. Do we want the two left? Let's do the two left. Fuck it. I don't know if the payware has the construction. Insert. So let's review this again. Arama, Bobag, Bokip, Samco. Alright, fine. Alright, get rid of two center. And do the ILS two left. And Akipo, Samco. Looks like we're passing Samco direct to Akipo. We're not doing a Numa. Was that an option? Was that a VIA? Let's try that again. Sorry. Arrival. Runway 2 left. VIA. Apipa. Yeah, let's just do it. Samco, Apipa. Anuma. Akipo. That looks good. Adnic. Search. Kipo, Adnic, and then the runway. Cool. Abvon, that's not on there. That's the decision point, I guess. We should have that in there. So, Abvon. Is this just like an issue with this AirX cycle? I don't know. Abvon, perfect. And we'll be on ILS anyway, so we should be guided at that point. Okay, that's good. So pin that now back to taxi. We're looking for just keep an eye on that top of descent. Okay, it's coming through there. Looking for a chart number for the main terminal. Parking bays main. Is this what we want? This is what we want. Okay. So we'll use this to figure out where we're going to park. Terminal 2, Terminal 3. Yeah, let's so we're coming in runway 2 left. We'll probably exit Whiskey 5. Let's get a tour of the scenery. I'd like to actually see it. So let's do like a long taxi down Quebec, and then we'll turn on Tango, and then Romeo 1, and let's park somewhere here. Maybe we'll take like Echo 2. Cool. Alright, so that's all we need. That's all we need. There's some speed restrictions. That we can program in and adhere to. Cool. So, alright, let's continue our descent prep. Let's go to the performance page and get our ATIS information. Let's request weather through here. I'm going to do one last check to see if anyone has come online on VATSIM. Unfortunately not. There's just south of Singapore, Jakarta Center is online. We're going to be just teasing their airspace coming into Singapore, but I don't think they're going to cover us. I'd be shocked if they contact us. So yeah, we'll still be clearing ourselves in. Let's do a weather request, because there won't be an ATIS. And send. Alright, company message. What do you got for me? Alright, Whiskey, Sierra, Sierra, Sierra. Let's print that so we can reference it. Such a cool feature. You can actually now print to a real printer now through the fly-by-wire, which is a really cool feature. I haven't tested that out yet, but alright. So going to performance. Let's see. QNH at Whiskey Sierra 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 is 1011. Temperature is 32 degrees. Winds are 10 degrees at 8. So winds changed a little bit, but still pretty much headwind, which is what we want. Transition altitude, let's check the charts. Transition level, flight level 130, perfect. And, oh, minimums. Radio minimums for the Cat 2 ILS, for Cat C is 100 feet. Cool. That's all set. Fuel prediction page, checking this. Yep, still have enough fuel. So now let's just go to our standard operating procedures to make sure we are prepped for descent. So confirm landing performance, we'll do a low brake because if I recall the runway is mad long. Runway 2 left is, yeah, 4,000 meters. We got no problems with the low brake. We'll be landing with flaps full. Flight plan is set. Rad navs. Actually, we didn't check the rad navs. This is why we have checklists. So there is the TCONG VOR. What is the reference? Reference to ICW. So those are all distances from the ILS. But let's put in. Do we need the other VORs? I don't know. Well, what's the missed approach? Let's look at that. Climb left turn via heading 335 to Acoma. Oh, there's a reference on the radial for Papa Uniform. So we might want to put that in. Yeah, we'll put in Papa Uniform. Bunch of like random VORs. I'm just curious. I guess there are other airports in Singapore. All right. Papa Uniform. Boom. And we'll just get the VOR on. Oh, we're already picking it up. Cool. We're getting close. All right. So yes, we did the rad navs. We did the. We didn't put the runway in the progress page. Let's do that real quick. So, Whiskey, Sierra, Sierra, Sierra. What's the syntax? Would it be 0 to left? We'll take that. Yes. Great. And we did the performance prep, fuel prediction. Landing elevation is on auto. Yes, it is. We briefed the approach. We'll set TCAS to below. Oh, so much glare. Wow, I really can't see a damn thing. I just know below is in that position. And we're good. The next checks will be at 10,000 feet. And when we clear for descent, I think we'll be flying through the transition level. So once we clear ourselves down to 10,000 feet, then we'll go to local QNH, which is 1011 for the latest. There's some outside views flying over Malaysia, I believe. With some mountains back there. We were just so into flight planning. We did not really do any exterior shots, but you know, it's just like bright and clear. See, the new time of arrival with the approach programmed in is 6 o'clock on the dot. And we were expected in for our operating flight plan at 20 past. Yeah. So we'll be in nice and early, despite leaving late. And we had to change nothing about the flight to achieve that. You know, I always assumed when pilots are like, we're departing late, but we'll get there on time, we'll make up some time in the air. You're not making up time. There's just buffer built into your flight plan as is. Alright, let's take a look. I want to take another look at this cabin altitude. So yes, the cabin altitude, even though we're at 37,000 feet, is 7,300 feet. Very comfortable, very easy to breathe. And this delta pressure is 8 psi. So I have to assume that's the outward pressure being exerted on the fuselage from the inside. Alright, 80 miles from top of descent. I'm just going to take a moment to myself, chill out for a little bit. I've been working hard on this flight. Alright. We are approaching that top of descent. On our way into Singapore. We've briefed that approach. Just enjoying some few moments of peace before the workload picks up again. How's everyone doing out there across Twitch and YouTube tonight? Nice. Double check the weather there. Yeah, just really just a beautiful time to be flying in. Almost perfect headwind. I've never been to Singapore. I've had a few friends over the years from Singapore. And out of the financial crisis, I was actually a heavy investor in casinos, specifically Las Vegas Sands. And at that time, I think they were still constructing that what's become now legendary hotel resort casino in Singapore. And I'll be curious if we'll be able to see it from the approach. It's become an iconic piece of the Singapore skyline. About 35 miles now from top of descent. Okay, our next flight level ready to go, 10,000 feet. Do one last check for ATC. ATC is still offline at Singapore. Well, if we were flying to Whiskey Alpha 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 tonight, we would get some coverage. So for those who are joining a bit late, we spent most of our cruise tonight replanning our route around the world. Actually, from Bangkok, where we just departed, I was going to fly to Sanya, which is a city on an island off the coast of China. I believe it's a resort destination. On our way further east, and we're going to make our way up the East Asian coast towards Alaska, where we'd cross back over into North America, taking short legs all the way up and down. But we read, or rather, we heard this week that World Update 7 is coming to Microsoft Flight Simulator, and World Update 7, which I believe is being released on the 31st, so a few days from now, is going to feature Australia and various points of interest, new photogrammetry cities, I guess like improved terrain telemetry, as well as I think a few custom airports. I've been trying to figure out like what airports they're releasing. But it sounds like it's going to be a pretty awesome update, so we decided to change our routing and make our way further south through Australia. And then we'll make our way back north through Southeast Asia and hop back on our original path through Sanya, but we've added like about 10 legs between now and then. And I'm sure once World Update 7's out, there's just going to be a lot of activity over Australian airspace, and we'll get lots of VATSIM coverage. About 18 miles now until top of descent. Alright, top of descent. Thrust idle, open descent. Down we go. Throttle's coming back. Yeah, pretty healthy descent rate. Yep, and there's that cabin vertical speed going down as well. So we're going down like 3,800 feet per minute, but the cabin pressure is going down about 700 feet per minute. I'll be eventually getting to sea level pressure because our runway elevation is 22 feet. So we'll want to check actually the star here because there are speed restrictions throughout. So our Rama will want to be at 250 knots. And that is the next waypoint, about 34 miles. So we'll want to slow down in a little bit. Maybe 10 miles ahead. I'll pull back on that. Maybe we'll drop down to 240 just to give us some buffer. It's always better to go slower. give yourself a little bit more time to make some decisions. So yeah, since we actually cleared ourselves below transition level, QNH 101, what was it actually, 1011? Yes. I'll actually just check here to make sure it's still consistent. 1011, yep. Goody. Check VATSIM. Yeah, we're not going to be in that area, so. But yeah, there is a center controller online just to the south. Down we go. Alright, about 10 miles out, we'll go ahead and get airspeed pulled back 240 knots. It's going to halt our descent a bit while we make our way down to that new speed. Let's just see how much time we need. 40 miles to get down to that target. And we are how far away from Bobag? Yeah, we're good. We're good. And Bobag is that next one, right? Yeah, Bobag. We want to be at 10,000. It's okay if we're above, so it's like not super critical. But we'll want to start getting lower. And actually our intercept the ILS will want to be at 3,500. Okay, that's good to keep in mind. So once we pass Samco, we can go down to 3,500. All right. At 240, making the turn towards Bobag. And about 50 miles from the airport. I'm actually going to get us to 11,000 because it gets a little wonky at 10,000 because it's like right at the border when there's like an automatic speed restriction. Although you know what, that wouldn't bother us at this point because I'm controlling our speed, so screw it. We'll go down to 10,000. Ignore what I just said. Sorry, y'all. 20,000 feet. Yeah, pretty stable at 1,600 feet descent per minute. Starting to get to cloud level. Alright, so when we get to Bobag, we want to be at 220 knots. And green dot is just below that. So I guess we may as well activate the approach phase once we get down to 10,000. We'll do our 10,000 feet checks, then we'll activate the approach. Well, 10,000 feet checks, approach checklist, then we'll activate the approach. About 5 minutes to Bobag, and at 1,700 feet per minute. Yeah, I think we're good. So we're 30 miles from Bobag. How much time do we need to get down? 22 miles. Good. Good, good, good. Anything interesting out that window? Nothing yet, really. Is this a cumulonimbus? Maybe a miniature one. Alright, once we get Bobag, I'm imagining things are going to happen pretty quickly. At this point, I'm going to bring the speed back to 215, or basically just get to green dot speed. Alright, let's get her down to 6,000. We'll do our 10,000 feet checks. So 10,000 feet. Landing lights set. Seatbelt sign on. Turn on the constraints. Landing systems we'll be using it for the ILS. Rad navs are selected and identified. Engine modes as required. ECAM status checked. QNH is set. Approach checklist. Briefings confirmed. ECAM status is checked. Seatbelts are on. Bow ref is set. Minimums are set. Engine mode selectors as required. Approach checklist complete. So we're just crossing Bobag pretty much at the altitude we want it to be, which is fantastic. Sometimes it's a bit of a frantic scurry to manage the airspeed reductions as well as the descent. And I try to avoid using speed brakes. I prefer to do it as gradually and as calmly as possible. That speed brakes, frankly, just aren't required. Alright, so now that we are pretty much direct to our initial approach fix, and we're about 30 miles from the airport. It's a tad early. It's a tad early. I won't quite activate the approach just yet. Yeah, so once we're 20 miles away, we'll go ahead and activate it. So we'll be bug up at 6 even, 2 minutes, 2,400 feet down. Yeah, we'll be close to 6,000. And then we'll go down to 4,000. And we'll slow down to... that's when we'll start configuring. Those are pretty clouds. It'll be cool if we get to fly through them, and then once we emerge beneath the ceiling, we get a beautiful shot of the Singapore skyline. Get some photos in before we land. 'Cause this will be the last time we're in this livery. At this point, I'll just set us to 4,000 because we're going to be clear the restriction passing over Bokip. And once we pass Bokip, we'll activate the approach, start configuring. Just get a sense for our approach speeds. So second is 189. Yeah, so we'll want to be at we can go to, yeah, we'll be at 1 stage of flaps by the time we get to Samco. Oh, we're ready to pick up the glide slope. Alright, let's activate that approach phase. And get back to manage speed. Speed checked, flaps 1. Very interesting to have waypoints. I'd probably delete one of them, but let's see what happens. Let's do speed checks flaps 2. Just to get below that that speed restriction. Make sure we're nicely below it. Once we're a bit closer, we'll get the gear down. And let's activate the approach, autopilot 2, Lokestar, Cat 3 dual, autopilot 1 and 2. And get our altitude at this point. Well, the approach is armed. So, once we're on the glide slope, let's do our missed approach. Altitude will be 1,000 feet. Look. Alt star. Oh, starting to see the city in the distance there. Can't really make any landmarks from here. Oh, that could be the sands right there, actually. Oh, glide slope. Yeah, that's pretty cool. We're not going to get like a very close flyover, but you can definitely make out those kind of iconic Singapore buildings. All right. Gear down. Auto brake confirmed. Lights. Nose to take off. And ground spoilers are armed. Runway in sight. Singapore traffic, Bangkok 9084 on 10-mile final to runway 2 left. Bangkok traffic. Speed checked, flaps 3. And flaps full. Landing checklist, cabin crew. Advised. All throttle speed auto brake as required. Oh, there it is. That's what I was waiting for.
Flight attendants, please prepare for landing.
Why is this sticking? I want this to go away. There we go. Oh, radio altimeter's alive. I think I missed that. Make sure we're on the right approach for Avon. We want to be... Well, Adnick, we want to be below... Okay, yeah, so we're looking good. Adnick, we're just passing now. We're crossing at 1500, so glide slope is perfect. Hello, Singapore. Alright, let's take it over at 1,000 feet. Because, you know, it's pretty like, direct headwind. This should not be too hard to fly in manually.
1,000.
Autopilot off. I have my eyes like fixated on the touchdown zone. Keep an eye on that glide slope guide as well. Very small adjustments.
500.
Very small adjustments. That's now a little right of center line. Correcting for that. Still a little right center line, but getting back on.
100 above. Minimum.
Continue.
50, 40, 30, 20. Retard. Retard. 10, 5.
Ballooned a little bit, but butter, reverse. Reverse green, decel. $70 knots. Roll out. Not sure if I like these runway textures. That didn't seem very realistic. In any case, we'll pull up here. Do our after landing checks. Singapore traffic, Bangkok Air 9084, clear of runway 2 right. Sorry, 2 left, correction, 2 left. Bangkok, Singapore traffic. Jesus. Alright, anyway, we're on the ground. I think that was a pretty nice soft landing. Well past the touchdown zone, that'd be the only complaint, but we had plenty of runway. So honestly, giving the folks a softer landing, I'm not too upset with, but ideally I would have been able to give them a soft landing while also hitting my touchdown zone. In any case, let's go through the after landing checks. So radar and predictive weather system off. Engine mode selectors normal, flaps retract. And watch them come up. TCAS and we'll also turn off the ground spoilers. They coming down. Very cool. Never actually looked at that before. Sorry, ATC as required. TCAS comes to standby. APU start. So we'll want the APU on when we park. 1, 2, 3. No anti-ice. Brake temperature check. Brake temperature is great. After landing checklist. Flaps retracted. Spoilers disarmed. APU started. Radar off. Predictive wind shear system is off after landing checklist is complete. So let's remind ourselves. We'll just clean up some of this as well. Landing system off, flight direction is off at this point. We never set our altitude for misapproach, but that's fine. Alright, let's see where we're going to taxi to and park. So it looks like we're in Whiskey 5 right now. So we'll go to Whiskey. Actually, no, we'll go to Quebec. Take Quebec all the way down. Make a right on Tango. Head to Romeo 1. So Quebec Tango Romeo 1. Welcome to Singapore. Did not expect to land here. Yeah, so it's just about 2 hours in the air. So I'm going to hop on outside so we can actually check out the scenery. Pretty cool jetways. Main terminal looks pretty nice. Of course, always love a good taxiway. I see they have the stand markers, which is nice, although no taxiway markers on the ground. And that could just be a feature of this particular airport, or it was missed. Pretty cool. They got the hangars down there too. This is a pretty massive airport. It makes sense in Singapore. It's such an economic hub. Like, I'm sure Tango's coming up soon, but I have to read these tiny signs that we know that Tango's coming up. That's Papa. Did I miss it? Or is this it? Oh no. Tango is past the Papas. Okay. So looks like this is Tango. That's off limits. I didn't turn sharply enough. Okay. So now we're going along runway 2 Charlie to center. It's supposedly under construction. And I see construction. Well, it looks like the runway is still available, but they definitely have. They've modeled in construction into the scenery, which is pretty cool. Matches the chart. So there's an airplane. There's a couple of airplanes there. Oh, that must just be for show, because I don't think they're on VATSIM right now. Yeah, I'm the only airplane at Singapore right now. But more ATC is coming online, because it's like daytime Saturday in Asia right now. So we are looking for Romeo 1, which I think should be this next one. And we'll take like Echo something. I mean, this looks under construction too. So I guess I can't use those stands. Alright, cool detail. A little frustrating. So... should we just go all the way around? We're flying down this taxiway, so... let's consider it a high-speed taxi. Yeah, let's just round the corner and we'll take a stand around the corner. So we'll start slowing down. Oh, this is Charlie 1. Charlie 1, I don't even know where that is. This is Romeo 4. And there are stands here, okay. Yeah, we'll go leave one of these ones that are dead ahead. Yeah, that'll work. So do I follow these arrows? I'm so confused. Yeah, let's see. Let's see what this does. If I come in here, will I get any of these jetways to connect? That's the question. I think not, because you know what? There's airline markers to my right. What did I just do? That's just so fascinating. I don't really understand how this would work. Do A380s park here? Okay, you know what? I'm going to do a tiller move here with some differential thrust. This is not sanctioned. This is not realistic. But I just want to get into this stand. Oh, broke too hard. And we want to turn off nose lights to not blind anyone. And now I'll just bring it in. Double thrust. The A320 line is... Alright, not too bad. Could have been worse. Alright, parking brake on. APU is available, so engines are shutting down. And let's go ahead and see if we can get some of these services. So passenger, power, baggage. Yep, all works. Beautiful. Oh, very nice. That's well modeled. I appreciate that. So now I just need baggage and power to come. There we go. And while they're doing that, we'll go ahead and run through our parking procedures. So acupressure check, parking brakes on, anti-ice is off, APU is available, APU bleed is on. Engine master switch both off, beacon off, seatbelt signs off. Side strike disarmed, exterior lights as required, get the strobes off. Everything's off except nav and logo. Confirm chocks in place, parking brake as required. Parking checklist, APU bleeds on, engines are off, seatbelts are off, external lights are as required, fuel pumps off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And parking brake and chocks as required. Okay. So we're here. We're in Singapore. We made it. We're heading to Australia to celebrate the release of World Update 7. Enjoying this beautiful payware scenery in the meantime. I think that dome right there in the middle is kind of like the highlight of the scenery. So maybe we'll get a better shot of that on our way out of Singapore on our next flight. But until then, let's go ahead and secure the aircraft, call it a night. So, checking everything down here. Go ahead and unlock the door. ATC back to standby. Alright, let's get the overhead. Alright, oxygen crew supply off, exterior lights off. Maintenance process required, parking brake is on, the aiders we can turn off. APU bleed and master switch off. Well, let's get external power on, so we don't accidentally cut off the power. Emergency lights, exit lights off, no smoking lights off. External power is required, battery 1 and 2 are off. And securing the aircraft. So aiders are off, oxygen's off, APU bleeds off, emergency exit lights are off, signs are off, APU and battery are off. And that is all set. We'll wait for the APU to fully spool down. That's this little guy back here. The latest experimental version of the fly-by-wire seems to take a while to spool down. Let's actually monitor the APU page and see what's going on there. So the bleed's off, flaps open. Still spinning at 100%. Fuel still pumping to the APU. You don't need the fuel pumps on for the APU, is my understanding. There we go. Yeah, so I guess it just takes a few minutes. Yep, APU spooling down and cooling off. Getting nice and quiet back there. Alright, so then let's complete the rest of the cockpit shutdown. So just maximize the life of these screens by turning them lower. We got the integrated lights down. And do the same thing for the overhead. And friends, there is, oh, and of course the glare shield. Alright friends, there's nothing left to do but shut down external power. Boom. That's it. Oh, and I have the flight pad. Save that battery. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's take one last look at this gorgeous livery with Singapore airport in the background. Oh, is it Sat's Food? Oh, Changi. Oh, that is accurate trucking. That's awesome. Oh, and again, I screwed this guy by closing the cargo door while he's right there. No worries. Anyway. Yeah, I'm very bad with goodbyes. But hope you had a good flight, good evening, and hope you fly with us again next time when we fly from Singapore. Further south, I think we're heading to Bali next, so that will be a fun tropical getaway for us all. Until then, take care.